Well, we want to welcome everyone to our October updates. First off, I want to thank you all for your continued trust and patience in Baumgartner Tire Plant over these past 7 months. We know that these are difficult and stressful times, not just personally, but from a financial and investment climate situation. So we hope that you and your families are safe and healthy. And as your next quarterly statements get delivered, just want to encourage you all to set up a meeting with myself to discuss any changes to your circumstances that may have occurred that I need to be aware of, and of course, review your portfolio. But after our last update in September, we were in the midst of large tech stocks having a small but healthy pullback. And as mentioned in that update, that this was likely due to some profit taking. They had done so well, it makes sense that some would pull off some of those gains and reinvest them in other areas. And really, since then, in the last month, we've seen that decent rebound out of that, some stabilization there. But what's interesting, I'd like to talk about is some of the structural changes in our investment climate that normally would take years is happening in just a matter of months. This is because COVID is forcing businesses to change and to adapt in how they deliver their goods and services to their customers. They need to adapt in order to survive. So that we can see that in a post-pandemic world, there's going to be some winners and some losers. For example, if we notice here in our first slide, how there's quite a wide moat between the different sectors. The performance just here last quarter, consumer discretionary versus energy, quite a difference there. But some of these sectors that you might recognize, consumer discretionary, information technology, some of the big names that we've seen this year, for example, Zoom, who many of you perhaps use to connect with friends and family, or even use for business or in education, or maybe even Camping World, it's consumer discretionary stock that has done well during these times as people escape the indoors and get out and camp. So we see those are some of those who have thrived during this time. As we go back to our first slide here, we've seen some that struggle, though the sectors aren't out of favor. They're not going anywhere. Energy, financials, we see that they've really struggled as of late. For example, Discover Financial not done so well this year. On the other areas like retailers, consider losers during this that have not adapted to the changing climate, business climate. For example, Steinmart closed their doors in August. So we see that the minority of stocks haven't been terribly affected by COVID. They carry much weight when it comes to some of our indexes, as we saw those big names. And some of the losers that we just highlighted, one there with Discover, that probably will survive, but right now fallen out of favor. And some who are slower to innovate, as mentioned there, like Steinmart, who for a number of legitimate reasons decided to wait out the storm and ended up losing that gamble and having to close their door. So what does this mean? What does this mean for you in your portfolio? Well, just really highlighting the impact, the need for diversification. See, I've known some very smart people, investment professionals that have gotten this right consistently, picking the winners. But for every one that I've known to get it right, I've known 10 others that get it wrong. Very smart people. So diversification is very important. All of you in your investment portfolios are well diversified. I want to encourage you to continue to follow that course. But these business climate changes that we just highlighted here, beginning to get baked in to our investment situation. We see that there's a need for us to review as we get into our next quarterly meetings, investment allocation strategies. We must adapt to those changes as well. But as mentioned in our last update, we are holding higher levels of cash and out of favor bonds at this time until concrete news regarding COVID vaccine and treatments are widely known. So further with that, going into an election month, next month, we're no rush into stocks. However, I do think that the day is getting very close that we will begin to put that money back to work in your portfolios. So besides, as we mentioned in the onset, telephone and video conferences, which we encourage you to take advantage of, I will also be taking appointments next month at select nearby office locations. They are cleaned regularly, require us to follow minimum safety protocols. So later this month, I will begin booking appointments for those interested in meeting in person. But we hope this will be all over soon. But in the meantime, rest assured that we are working hard to protect and grow your portfolios. So in the meantime, take care and thanks for watching.